Hey, how about it, race fans? Richard Allen of motorsportsreport.net, and I'm coming at you, as you may be able to tell, from the victory lane at the Nashville Super Speedway, where at the end of the day today, hopefully at the end of the day, there's some clouds around, hopefully the rain stays away, but some happy person will be parked right here celebrating their victory sometime later in the day. But what I was going to talk about, do a little dirt race talk, since that's really primarily more what we cover on motorsportsreport.net anyway. Attended last night the Volunteer 50 at the Volunteer Speedway up in Bulls Gap. A great event up there, 50,050 to win, celebrating the past history of that racetrack. So that was cool to be a part of. But it's kind of a growing trend in dirt late model racing lately, as leaders just aren't getting past. Dale McDowell took the lead right off the bat. He was on the pole because he had won his preliminary feature on Friday night that set him up for the pole. He started alongside Brandon Overton, and the kind of consensus in the pit area before the race was it was a race to the first turn, and then whoever won out in that race to the first turn was probably going to win the race, and that turned out to be the case. As hot as it was and everything, track prep's really difficult. Anyway, I know Vic Hill and that crew, they worked extremely hard over the past several weeks to get everything ready for that big event, and I had a great crowd there last night. But in a lot of races that we've seen here lately, particularly some of the bigger races, the higher paying races, the more high profile tracks, leaders just aren't getting past. We've had a couple of crown jewels, both won by Jonathan Davenport, in which he was not passed from start to finish, and we've had Ricky Thornton Jr. won, I believe it was the Firecracker 100. He took the lead early and then never got passed after that. So we're not seeing a lot of passing. And the thing of it is, because I've talked to people about this, I don't really know what the solution is. You could do some trick aero thing. These cars, the dirt late model cars, have become so aero dependent over the last several years. It's been just a growing evolution. And as any crew chief in the pit area will tell you, we're not going backwards. We're going to de-evolve after having had that happen. So I'm not sure what the solution is. Some people might say, well, tires. Last night, there was nobody going to go on a soft tire last night. You weren't going to make it 50 laps, I don't think, on that. And oftentimes that's the case, especially when we're in hot weather like we are here in the middle of summer right now. So I'm not sure tires is it. And you could come up with some gimmicky aero thing that you might possibly do, but they'll just figure out a way to beat that too, like they always do. It could be any number of things. Of course, like in Formula One, they have that DRS that opens up the rear wing when you're close to somebody. You obviously can't do that in dirt late model racing. So as I said, I don't know what the solution is. Some people might argue track prep, but track prep's one of those things that I know nothing about, and I'm not going to talk about people who do it because they know more about it than I do. And you can say, well, at Eldora or Florence or somewhere like that, you don't have this same kind of situation. Well, not every track is Eldora. Not every track's its same size and shape or has its same dirt. Same thing with Florence or Knoxville or some of those tracks like that. Those are their own animal, and so you can't compare every track to it. So it's not just necessarily an answer of track prep. And like I said, aero could be a solution to somehow do something, but they're just going to figure out how to top that too. But it's a little I don't want to say disturbing, I wouldn't use that word, but a little concerning that we're starting to have so many races in which they're which are essentially won from the pole. Somebody gets out in front and just leads all the way, never gets past. Lap traffic is the great equalizer when it comes to that. And last night in that race, Brandon Overton closed in on Dale McDowell a time or two in traffic, and even was able to kind of take a shot at him a couple of times, but then cautions came out and just kind of reset the field. So if you can get a situation where lap traffic becomes an issue, then that's great. That helps solve the problem. at least temporarily. But you never know when that next caution is going to happen. If you can somehow get a race to run caution free, tends to work out better as far as the competition than it does when you have a bunch of cautions and keep restacking and keeping the leaders in clean air all the time. I know, the term clean air and aero push and aero tight and things like that have been in NASCAR for years, and dirt racing fans don't want to hear that, but it's just the truth of the matter, because as I said, these cars have evolved over time, with aero being such a key factor in them and the way that they run. So hopefully somebody out there is smarter than me. I've kind of used up several minutes here telling you I don't know what the answer is, but maybe somebody out there does. But I would really like for them to find that answer, whatever it is, because we're having too many races that are led flag to flag by the same driver. It's nothing against Dale McDowell or Jonathan Davenport or Ricky Thornton Jr. or anyone like that. That's just the way it happens. That's just the way it is. But as dirt late model racing goes now, better be good when you unload off the truck, because qualifying and heat racing play a big factor. You're not going to see, last year I was at a race at Ponderosa where Mike Marlar started way in the back of the field and won the race, but those are such rarities. You just don't see them very often. So, last night, for example, Ricky Thornton, who's the hottest guy around for the most part, started a little bit back. I think he started in the 5th row and just never really made much headway from there. So it just didn't work out. But anyway, this Richard Allen of motorsportsreport.net saying there's some sort of an issue in dirt late model racing with the leader never getting passed. So hopefully we'll figure that out. But until then, this is Richard Allen, and I will see you at the track.